You are one connection, one idea, one new project away from totally changing the trajectory of your life. And I want you to think about that. When you're creating your budget, when you're looking at your expenses, if you make one shift, one change, it might seem super small right now, right? Like minuscule. Right now, that's so small. I'm saving $10. It's not going to make a big difference. But it's not just about the dollar amount that you're shifting, but it's the mindset behind it. Because hello, Empower Nation. Welcome to Empower Her Money podcast. I'm your host, Angela Duncan, speaker, best-selling author, serial entrepreneur, and we talk all things money and business. I am doing part 2 of a series that I'm diving deep into my book called Empower Your Money, which was a #1 best-selling book in 4 categories. I was so excited to release this book because I really wanted to provide my audience and those that want to learn more about taking control of their finances with a book that was simple, easy to understand, and with action items that you could execute right away. So we're diving into part 2, where I am going over each of the topics a little more in depth so that I can help you with your financial goals to understand how to take control of your finances and hopefully to provide you with at least a tip that you can execute, implement, take action on in your life and use these strategies to help you get to your financial goals. And what I always love to remind you is once you've taken action, you've seen success, there are people around you that are watching you, whether it's your family, your friends, it could be your church, but share and inspire someone else. Make sure that you are not just taking these tips and implementing it in your own life, but making sure that you truly make an impact on the world around you. Quick story about me. I grew up in Section 8 housing and welfare, and I didn't know anything about money. My mom didn't know anything about money. And when I was 18, I decided that moving out of the house, going to college, and learning about money, I was a finance major because I always thought that if I had this thing called money, that my life would just be easy. Well, I learned that it's not just about the tool money, but knowing how to utilize it and changing your mindset is so key and important. So writing a book, doing a podcast, being interviewed, going on stages, teaching other people, so important to me because I want to make sure that I'm helping to inspire other people, to give them, ideas and things that they just don't know about because they weren't in the right situation to learn or to be taught these money items. So let's dive into part 2 here, going over some additional ideas from the book, Empower Your Money, which is available on Amazon. Next tip and topic that we're going to go into is talking about your budget, right? So when you look at your rent, your mortgage expense, it's probably going to be your biggest expense when it comes to your budget. And sometimes you may not have the opportunity to move and get into a city that might be cheaper. That's an ideal way if you're trying to work on your budget and get your expenses down. I live in Miami. It's very expensive to live in Miami. So if you can't move, I really wanted you to pay attention to your rent and your mortgage. If you take the amount of money that you take home, so if you work at a job, it's your direct deposit amount, the money that actually comes into your bank account, you need to think about how much money are you spending on your rent or your mortgage. Ideally, it should be no more than 30%. So we'll just use a very easy number. Say you take home $1,000 a month into your bank account, then your rent should be $300. Now, I know there's probably nowhere in the US that you can get rent for $300, but I want to make the math simple for you. 30% is ideally the key. And if you're in a situation where it is higher than that, when your lease comes up for renewal, really think about, if you are serious about your financial goals, how do you get to a place where your rent or your mortgage is less than that 30% number so that you can try and work on, I hate that word. Every time I say it, I cringe, but I want you to drive this home. I want you to work on your budget. I want you to hit your financial goals. So we're giving you ideas and tips on how to get there much quicker. We are in a interesting real estate market. So if you're thinking about buying a home, make sure you're talking to your mortgage broker. Your mortgage broker should be extremely knowledgeable. And if you hear the word ARM, which is an adjustable rate mortgage, run. I highly do not recommend these because what an adjustable rate mortgage is, just like it sounds, is it locks in a rate for a short period of time, could be 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. Your rate is locked in, but after that point, it becomes adjustable. So you are at the mercy of what the interest rate market is. I definitely do not recommend this for anyone who's looking to buy a home, to live in the home. Now, this is a strategy that can be used in some rentals or some investment properties. But if you were buying a home to live in it, even if interest rates you're thinking might be going down, I still would not get an adjustable rate mortgage. Lock in that rate because you never know what the future holds for you, your family, your job, your health. You want to make sure that you're paying attention to your budget by locking in that rate so that you know what your mortgage payment is going to look like as far as the interest rate is concerned. Now, when you're looking at buying a car, one, I don't ever recommend you buying a brand new car. The reason for that is because when you buy a brand new car, as soon as you drive that car off the lot, it depreciates. It goes down in value immediately. Most cars lose the most value of the car in that first year. So if you are car shopping, try and find something that's a couple years old, perhaps that maybe was a lease for that dealership and now it's up for sale. It's got lower mileage. It's still under warranty. That's a great option if you can afford it. That way you are not losing that 1 year depreciation dollar amount that is the hugest in that first year. So that's one option. And two, think about a car twin. There's lots of cars that look similar and the brands could be different. Obviously, your luxury brands, Mercedes, BMW, there's oftentimes a twin car that looks very similar to that that you can buy that looks just as fabulous, still under warranty, low mileage, but it's going to cost you a lot less. So if you're in a situation where you're already kind of stretched on your budget, really consider bringing that car down because what you need it for is to get you to and from. You just don't want it to break down. If you can, buy one that's great on gas and that way it'll help your budget as well. But when you're really focused on your financial goals, the car brand isn't as important when you need to hit certain goals. Now, it could be a reward later on when you get to a certain situation, but a car should just get you to and from, and it should be reliable, hopefully. And so think about buying the twin car instead of doing the actual luxury brand. This next tip from my book, Empower Your Money, always makes me laugh because I am a shoe person. I know when I buy shoes, it is not an investment. It's like, might as well throw the money out the window, right? Because it's something that has no value once I have purchased it and worn those shoes. But diamonds, gold, especially in certain markets, could be a better investment. And so diamonds are a much better investment than the shoes that I buy and have absolutely no value once I bring them on. But if you are a shoe lover like myself, or perhaps you would buy something else that is not really valuable once you buy it, think about making an Instagram. What you can do to create money is to have an Instagram that talks about shoes. Perhaps you get on video, you can show different photos and videos. You can show the stores if they allow it, and you might be a brand ambassador. So maybe if you become a brand ambassador, they'll send you some free shoes. And that way your hobby of buying shoes now becomes a profitable business for you so that you can create more income. You are one connection, one idea, one new project away from totally changing the trajectory of your life. And I want you to think about that. When you're creating your budget, when you're looking at your expenses, if you make one shift, one change, it might seem super small right now, right? Like minuscule right now. That's so small. I'm saving $10. It's not going to make a big difference. But it's not just about the dollar amount that you're shifting, but it's the mindset behind it because now you become more aware of what your spending habits look like. If you're at the store, you're at an event, your friends invite you out to dinner, you're looking at the menu. When you start to really pay attention to your finances and have goals that are present and visible in front of you, then you really shift your mindset. So don't think of that $10 expense that you're cutting out of your budget as not a big deal. It's a huge deal, and it can be life-changing for you because it takes one little idea for you to start in a new direction. So hopefully you have enjoyed this episode doing part 2 of Empower Your Money, the book that's available on Amazon. I will be doing a free promotion for it soon. So if you are a Prime member, you'll be able to download the Kindle version of this book for free. So I want to be able to help more people, inspire more people. So please do me a huge favor, share this podcast, start, review, and make sure that you are not just keeping this information, implementing it in your life, taking action, but sharing this with other people so that we can help others become financially free. Thank you for listening to Empower Her Money podcast. I am grateful for you. Please make sure to leave us a 5-star review, like this podcast, share it, subscribe, and let's keep teaching others how to take control and be empowered with their finances.